listening to Average Joe's Chess, a chess podcast made by average chess players, but exceptional lovers.
We're gonna make love to you. Average Joe's Chess. We're gonna make love to you. Average Joe's Chess.
So there's a beautiful background on your Zoom today, Al.
Thank you very much, Chauffeurs. Glad you like it. What's his name again? I can't remember.
Is it Clinton Baptiste?
Is Clinton Baptiste.
It is.
Nice one, yeah.
I
should know that, shouldn't I?
Exactly, the sidekick in, was it Phoenix Knights?
I've been watching a bit of that this week.
Beautiful, man. How are your psychic abilities going today? You reckon we're going to have a good podcast?
I knew you were going to say that.
Sorry, it took me a second. Well, that was very good. That was amazing.
Chauffeurs, guess what?
Go on.
It's episode 15.
Episode
15, Chauffeurs.
How did we make it this far? How's this happened?
And we're actually here. I mean, I'm amazed we're here for a few reasons. Mm-hmm. First reason is we're not supposed to be here. This was going to be a pre-recording interview with Jesse Cohen this week.
Yep.
Which we're not putting out this week now. And secondly, I didn't expect you to be here anyway, because I doubted your commitment to the podcast. You know, I was saying I sat in a Tesco car park when I was on holiday. I did the podcast. You've just driven home, what, 6-7 hour drive? What was it?
Yeah, all the way from bloody Cornwall all the way to Birmingham, which for our non-English listeners, which I think is the majority now, is an absolute kick in the bollocks. It's so long. It's the funny thing is to the Americans, though, that's probably nothing. They're probably still in the same state after 6 hours driving. But to us, I don't know if we're just being a bunch of little wusses. But my God, I'm shattered, man. And it's not just that. It's after a weekend of drinking and surfing and storms. And we'll get into it. It was a rough weekend, but
that
a
sounds
beautiful one.
Very rough. It sounds horrible, Jofers.
It was. Yeah, I'm all shagged out, but not in a good way.
You're shagged out as well?
Metaphorically.
Okay, and it is, what's the time? Just trying to see my clock. It's 10 o'clock nearly, 10 p.m. on Sunday night. It's a late one. Got a glass of wine in my hand. I'm happy. Should we crack on?
Let's have a very pissed podcast. I look forward to it. I'm hungover. You're just getting on the piss. This is going to be tragic. Let's give it a go. What more would you expect from a couple of chess average Joes? It's it's going to be wild.
It's more than I would expect, Jofers. A lot more. So, okay, why don't we're going to chat about a few things, aren't we? We've got a few things scheduled here. Mm-hmm. But rather than go into all of that crap, how was your week then? You've been in Cornwall. Why don't we just kick off with your week?
Oh, it was beautiful. It was, it was beautiful because I'm very optimistic and I'm very positive. For anyone else, it would have been the worst weekend ever because we actually got caught in Storm Anthony, which is the most bloody... I don't know, just the worst name for a storm. Like, you'd expect it to be a more kind of aggressive name, but Storm Anthony is like, it tossed me about, man. It was awful. I was getting tossed about left, right, and centre. It got rid of my tent. It destroyed all my belongings. It was,
Hold on, were you getting tossed off? You were getting tossed off when the tent had blown away, or while you were still in the tent? At what point was Anthony tossing you off?
So Anthony, yeah, poor choice of words. I'm tired and my filter's gone. You'll have a field day with this one. So yeah, Storm Anthony was tossing me off left, right, and centre, and so like destroyed my tent. And then after that day, we just kind of thought, you know what, fuck it, let's just find a hostel. So we moved to Newquay, which is like the hometown of surfing in the UK. And
stag weekends.
And stag weekends. So it was a messy weekend. If you can't tell, I'm still very tired. I'm very kind of not hungover, but just hungover from just excitement. I had
from life.
Surfing after a storm. Oh my God! Like the waves were just at least 2 or 3 feet, which in England is just ridiculous.
You can't even surf. I mean, that must have been even more. Can you actually stand up?
No, that's the thing. So we rented the surfboards from this Australian dude, and the next day I delivered the surfboards back to him, and he's like, "Oh mate, I think I saw you out there last night about 10 o'clock, like you was there like riding the waves because they were coming in and blah blah blah." And it's going on like this. I was like, "Yeah, that was not me, mate." But obviously I was just milking. I was like, "Yeah, I thought I saw you." Wrong guy completely. Like I think we rented the boards about 5, and we handed them back in about 5:30 or something. But I had to milk it up while I could. And while I can't surf,
legendary.
Exactly. While I can't surf, I have owned a shark tooth necklace for over 10 years, so I am legendary in the surf community.
You've got a bit of a surfy look about your hair as well, haven't you?
Is that just your way of saying that I haven't washed in quite a while?
Yeah, it's very
Thank you. Very surfy. Not poor hygiene,
Very
just very
surfy.
surfy. Exactly.
So, how many of you were down there? Was it you and a few of your...
Yeah, so
friends?
we all went on a stag do last year, and we enjoyed it so much. We're like, we need to do this every year. So it's just the same lot from the stag do. So there was about 6 of us in total, and a dog this time. That wasn't
nice.
Yeah. So that was nice.
Was the dog supposed to be with you, or it just sort of turned up while you were there? Was it one of those strays, like when we're in Sicily, that seems to follow us around?
Hey, it's weird. It's almost as if we're feeding them and kind of just attracting them to these really posh restaurants and getting hated by the locals. But now, it's one of ours. So it was just a good week, man. I loved it. I could go on about it for ages. But how was yours, El?
No, it was a repeat stag do. So like
stag do.
Did he, like, as the groom got remarried, is he getting remarried, or are they still okay to get, what's the situation?
We told him we enjoyed the stag do so much he's going to have to get divorced and remarried every single year just to keep on the, just to get the stag do tradition going each time. Nah, his missus was actually there. It was quite nice.
She was the
one. Yeah, and as my tent was blown away, there's a video of her, which I could put on the Instagram because it's quite funny. It's a video of me almost in tears because my tent is all over the place, flying all over the place, all my belongings are going. And it's just her recording, just pissing herself so hard, just having the best time of her life. Because they took a camper van down, so because they're proper surfy types, so they're just warming their camper van. It was awful, man. It was awful. But yeah, how was your weekend?
Didn't your headphones blow away as well?
They did, hence why I'm wearing these bloody tragic headphones right now. Anything to make the podcast go on. I feel like a DJ.
Podcast. I do not, Jofers, I do not doubt your commitment anymore.
Thank you.
I'm sorry for ever having doubted you. You're back. Mm-hmm. We're in business. You asked me how my week was.
I did.
Okay. Yeah. Right. After the podcast last week, I'd been sat down at this chair that I'm sitting in now. I'd been sat down in this for maybe, an hour and a half, because we do a bit before and a bit after.
Yep.
And it just messed my sciatica up, man. I just couldn't move. So I've spent a week. So after the podcast, I had to go and lie down. Mm-hmm. Slept badly all week. Haven't been able to move or walk properly. Had 2 days where I was just in bed, which, could have been bad. But obviously I've got chess.com to keep me company.
Yeah,
so
I'm not being funny.
It wasn't as bad as it sounds.
Maybe this is karma. Maybe you're just learning now what all the women that you've exceptionally loved over years have gone through. Like the lack of being able to walk the next day, having to lie down, recovering. It's just, this is what you're doing to people, man. It's karma catching up with you.
Why, were they podcasters as well?
Yeah, massive podcasters.
Yeah. So you just thrown me there, Joe. So I was just basically good times. I was just lying in bed all week for quite a few days. So I haven't done much at all this week. So this relates to a few things that we'll bring up during this podcast. There's a few links in that. One is like me being 50 and getting bastard sciatica, and it's really annoying. Yep. And we're going to talk about older people in chess. Not that I'm an older person or anything. No. I mean people like your mum.
She'll love that.
She will love that. And so we're going to, and it also links onto my challenge. So which we can talk about after as well, or we could talk about it now. We could do it one way or the other. I mean, that's my week. Well, actually, you know what? Why don't we talk chess week? Have you played much chess this week?
You know what? I haven't really had the time to play too much, but I've had a lot of like chess conversations because obviously a lot of the friends I went with have a bit of a chess background, and it's just nice to talk chess. And it got me thinking, imagine if we could do this full time, just kind of traveling the country, traveling the world, kind of just talking chess and just having a good time, man. It's chess is in the air all over the UK. It's beautiful.
Oh, if only we could get some more Patreon sponsors who would help you, Jofers, live your dream. I mean, I've got the sciatica. I'm not travelling anywhere. I'm just going to sit here and live my chess life vicariously.
Live it out. I mean, speaking of Patreons, didn't we get a nice one come through this week with quite a nice message?
Oh, we did, yeah. So Joe M, who has he's signed up for, I believe we've got a few tiers on our Patreon. Go and check it out if you haven't seen it. Not you, Jofers, but you can as well. Why don't you subscribe, Jofers? I notice you haven't subscribed.
I mean, I like how the subscriber you ran about is actually called Joe. It looks a little bit dodgy, if you ask me.
Was it you?
It could have been me. I just wanted to get the ball rolling.
But yeah, we've got a few tiers. We've got like the exceptional lover package, the exceptional lover package. Each one entitles you to, and we've got a very basic sort of exceptional lover package where you and me will just think about the person who's subscribed whilst we're exceptionally loving. But it all bloody helps, doesn't it? It helps that, the podcast isn't free. We've got to keep it running. We love doing it. So if you're out there and you want to help us out, go on to Patreon, take a look. And if you feel like it, sign up. That's great. Joe, not you, Joe, because you're Joe Fuzz, obviously. Joe M got in touch and he sent us a message, but should we cover that after? We talking about your chess week? So you were saying how you've basically talked a lot of chess, but not played a lot of chess.
Exactly. So got not too much to report on in terms of actual over-the-board playing, but in terms of just chess in general, still happy, still loving it, still excited. So yeah, how about yourself?
I'm still loving it, but I have lost a lot of chess again.
Really?
My blitz was up to about 1,003. It's took me a bit of time. Got it. In fact, it went up there quite quickly, and it also seems to have dropped quite quickly back to sort of under 1,100. I just seem to be losing these 5-minute matches. I feel like I'm not, like the time isn't enough. 5 minutes isn't enough for me. I think, again, maybe this leads on to old people in chess and my brain's slowing down a bit. Of course it's not.
There is that, but I think what it is, which you've been a bit humble about, it's not the only thing that's happened in your chess week. Me and you and Luca, my brother, we all used to have a group chat, didn't we? Like the race for 1,400 ELO, the race for 1,500. And then out of nowhere, we had the race for 1,600, which has just been kind of stagnant. Is that a word? Just kind of not
stagnant
being
is a word.
Used. Is it the right word? Probably not.
It's a great word. It does work.
It's just dormant is what I meant. Dormant. It's not been doing anything. It's not been touched. And then out of nowhere, you just message saying, completed it, man. I've reached 1,600 rapid. So, yeah, congratulations.
Well, exactly that. So I thought, you know what? Blitz is getting on my tits. I'm losing points. It's not working for me. It doesn't get me angry or anything. It's just, you just lose that thing. You think, why aren't I winning? What am I doing wrong? So I thought, timing, let's go to 10 minutes again.
Okay.
And I actually won a few and got myself up to 1,600, which I was happy with. And since then, I've been losing 2, winning 2, losing. So it's just up and down. I think I'm currently like 1,599.
Okay.
But the 10-minute matches, I am actually enjoying them again now.
You know what?
Just slowing down and thinking.
Yeah, I'm not just saying this, but I genuinely think you're a better chess player than me over, like if we were playing classical. Because when we play over the board... No, you bastard. I was just...
Carry on.
No, fuck yeah. I'll edit that out. I won't give you the satisfaction.
Oh, I always forget you do the editing, allegedly. Oh, man.
Nah, balls to you. But no, genuinely, when we play over the board and we're not thinking about time, you tend to bloody just whoop me, man. It's very impressive.
Not at all. I think we're pretty equal when we can think about it. If we take our time, think, we're both in the right frame of mind. I'm better in that way. I think I can play a bit better. I think I can get up from 1,600 if I plug away it a little bit more, play a bit more sensibly. It gives me a chance not to make errors, and I go through a little checklist in my head. Is checking if pieces are safe, thinking why have they moved that piece? What's their plan? Whereas often in blitz, I just don't think what's their plan. I'm just like, right, I'm going to move this, and they'll move some. I'm still going to move that. I haven't taken into account that the board has changed. I'm enjoying my rapid. I'm going to keep playing blitz. The problem with rapid can take up to 20 minutes. I don't play an increment, but 2 10-minute matches. 20 minutes is a long poo, whereas blitz, you can finish that a lot quicker. So
I'm so happy you've got 2 bathrooms in your house, because if you're taking these 20-minute poos where you're just playing chess and not even actually doing anything productive, that ain't fair on the family, man.
Often I'll just go in there when I don't even need to go, lock the door and just sit on the lid of the toilet and play. It's my sanctuary, Joe.
I just hope you...
And I'm sure a lot of people relate to that, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I'm just hope you remember that you are on top of the lid and don't think, right, I'm going to start my poo now.
I nearly covered my laptop in red wine then.
Sorry.
You can see me. Don't make me laugh while I'm drinking.
Noted.
So yeah, that was my chess week, Joe Fuzz. I'm going to stick with it. Keep going, rapid. And then I'm going to join you once my back's better, and we're going to get in a camper van.
Yeah.
And we're going to tour the world.
Can I recap on someone else's chess week by any chance?
You can do that, yeah. I know whose chess week you're talking. Go on, recap.
There's a new chess player in the family. So my mum, your sister, someone who said, I've got no time for chess. I ain't got the memory. Oh, no, I should have started when I was young.
Never
it's
wanted
not for
to
me.
play, never.
Never wanted to play. Never thought she would have the ability to do so.
Jofers, I've tried when your mum's been visiting me. I've said, let me show you. I've got a board out. Showed her a couple of moves. She's like, nah, not interested. Not interested.
And
she's carry on.
That's it. She's passionate about all these other things. She loves her running. And when she gets passionate, she gets addicted to something. And out of nowhere, she just said, after listening to the Robert Ramirez episode, so with the National Master that we interviewed a few episodes back, she's just been hooked. She's been watching his episodes on YouTube. I think he's got like from beginner to master type series.
He has.
And yeah, he's just been kind of teaching her one by one. She learned how the pieces move. She learned this, she learned that. And she has just been obsessed, man. Like every single time I see her, she's just showing me different kind of positions on the board, saying, what should I do here? And I'll just hear her every now and again just be like, you bastard. And so she's getting into it. She's getting passionate about the games. The other day I bumped into her and she said, she's like, you know what? It's like, what is it? It's like, that queen is a sneaky bitch. So she's she's finding out the hard way that chess is really challenging. And that leads us on to the Patreon thing, which we'll go to little later on. But yeah, I'm just so happy she's gotten into it, man. She's loving it.
Oh, it's so good. So, you know, what sort of positions has she taught you recently, Joe? You said she'd been showing you loads of positions.
Let's not put it like that out.
No, that's my sister you're talking about, Joe. Watch your mouth.
And my mother.
And your mother. That's weird, isn't it?
It is.
But I really like this because your mum has been telling me how good a teacher Robert Ramirez is. So she's listened to our podcast. She's probably our number one fan. She's listened to the podcasts and she's loved the chess, but she's also, I've switched off a bit on the chessy stuff, but obviously it's sort of got in there somehow. And she's been then watching the Robert Ramirez videos and telling me what a good teacher he is. I fed this back to him.
Oh, really?
He's well chuffed as well. Yeah. He was saying we could have a big family chess tournament at Christmas, maybe.
That'd be well good.
Yeah, we already have a table tennis tournament, the darts tournament. We can add chess to the thing. We could do some sort of chess tournament.
Do you remember what we played for the last table tennis tournament? Because we always have a trophy or something, don't we? So we have the Easter Ashes, which is a cricket tournament. Is it a jar of garlic, which now has cricket bat ashes kind of stuffed inside?
The cricket bat smashed on our first ever game, so we burnt it, put it in a jar. We play for those ashes each.
We do.
Not that we play proper cricket, but the darts one or table tennis trophy are you talking about?
The table tennis one.
Table tennis one was, It was
remember?
something. What did we? Was it your pants? We set them on fire.
I'd accidentally left my pants behind when I visited you once. So that's my boxers for the English lot, and so my underwear for the Americans. So yeah, my little panties.
God, you're thoughtful.
Oh no, I like to kind of translate my own videos for people. So yeah, I left my. I know. So yeah, left my pants behind for you, which again is very thoughtful. And
thoughtful.
You was taken aback by the design pattern or lack of design pattern in the fact
they
that
were very airy.
They were airy.
As far as
lots of
aware,
airing holes.
most men will have maybe 3 holes in their underwear, one for each leg, one for the waist, maybe one for their knob at the front. Yours had either you've got multiple penises, which is potentially true because you did talk about your penis in a few episodes back and a big bulge in these photos. So maybe you've got more than, maybe you're packing more than one down there.
Yep.
But yeah, those pants Jofers were a bloody disgrace. They were a disgrace.
They just made me more streamlined. It's a sporty thing. I know it looks like I'm a bit of a tramp, but it's more of like it just helps me fly, man.
They were only held together by your bum rust. There was nothing else holding them together, mate.
Beautiful. Oh, man.
Which is why they were so flammable.
Exactly. So yeah, they made for a beautiful. It was one of those things where everyone wanted to win the ping pong tournament, but also no one wanted to win because
not want to win that.
Yeah, exactly. It looked like people were missing the board on purpose.
Of course.
Yeah, but it is what it is. So I can't wait to offer them up for our next Patreon. I think whoever donates the most money or something. Pair of my dirty boxers.
I think that's a totally different market, but there probably is a market there somewhere.
Probably. But maybe not with a podcast that is primarily listened to by our family members.
No, exactly. I mean, your mum has to wash those things.
I know. But anyway, Yeah, no, I can't wait for that family chess tournament.
Yeah, so yeah, she's doing really well, learning chess, enjoying chess, and so this led me to think. So your mum wasn't chessy; she's enjoyed a chess podcast.
Yeah,
I reckon there's other people out there who are not chessy who would enjoy a chess podcast and
100%.
then maybe get into chess.
Yeah,
So what I would love is if anyone listening, if you would just share this podcast, that'd be great, wouldn't it, Joe? First, share it with somebody that isn't chessy. Just share it. I don't know. Let them listen. They might think it's crap. They might enjoy it. They might get into chess. You might be able to take the piss out of them when you beat them. I don't know. It'd be good. Just share the podcast.
Don't know about you, but
someone.
Yeah, I'd love to get someone on the podcast who's just learnt chess. So if there is someone out there who has just never played chess before and is kind of intimidated by it, I'd love to get him on.
Your mum's downstairs.
She is.
Shout her.
I could do, to be fair. She's a bit camera shy, bless her.
She doesn't want to come on.
She doesn't. And the amount of abuse she'd be giving us.
Yeah, but when it comes to chess with old people like your mum,
such a wind-up merchant.
Sorry, but actually, I was looking into this earlier because I thought, is there any what would you advise people? So basically, there's reasons why people, seniors, or even anybody who is not a young person anymore, should play chess. And some of the I looked this up on the internet, obviously, because I haven't got the time or energy or inclination to actually think of my own answers these days. And and it was saying,
I know.
Yeah.
I think I can guess the tough one. It's
Go on then.
I'm guessing it's just to get laid. I mean, bitches love a chess guy. It's I don't know why. It's just it's the in thing right now. So I think if I was an older gentleman or something, I'd be learning chess and just be going down the local kind of chess clubs and just the local clubs in general. Like, yeah, man, I play chess.
Big
And,
time.
oh god, they'd be all over me.
I'd subscribe to our Patreon because on one of our tiers we actually say, I believe, that we will teach them how to be exceptional lovers.
This
that all helps with complete package.
Is this even legal? I feel like we've just started an escort agency of some sort.
There's a fine line, isn't there, between legal and illegal? I don't know.
Exactly.
We broadcast in many countries, so there's different territories.
Illegal in some, legal in some. I love it.
Let's get some small print somewhere on our podcast page.
It's perfect.
But so
what did you
one
find?
of the reasons... Okay, so basically, good chance to just meet people, connect with people. You could go to a chess club, you could online connect with people. But one of the main things is it improves your cognitive abilities, memory, concentration, decision-making, and can help offset or ward off any sort of things like Alzheimer's, dementia, things like that.
I mean, the amazing thing, it also helps your cognitive abilities and your memory as well.
So, and point 2 is that it helps with concentration, decision-making, cognitive abilities. It can ward off Alzheimer's and dementia. But also, one of the things it was saying was, nowadays, because you can just play online, and that's something else I said to your mum. She was just watching the videos. I said, download chess.com. You can play the computers on there. It'll tell you where the pieces can move when you click a piece.
Yep.
And if you've got any mobility issues, you can't get out the house, or if your hands aren't able to pick up chess pieces, that is, just play on your phone, although maybe you couldn't play on the phone either, I don't know. But yeah, so I was just going to say, Jofers, if we were recommending somebody, if you've shared this podcast, or if someone shared this podcast with you and you're thinking of starting up chess, first bit of advice is don't, because it's a bad addiction. It'll take up loads of your life.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. You'll end up listening to us each week. It's not good. But just give somebody some chess advice, Jofers, like maybe chess principles. Do you know any chess principles?
Oh, God. Play for the centre. You want to control that centre. I don't know why. I don't understand the science behind it. It's like, that is very complex. I'm sure it's very basic, but yeah.
Pieces are in the centre. They've got more options, aren't they? They're covering more squares.
Yeah, I suppose the ones on the side of the board, they've got no options to the left or to the right. So yeah, if you're in the centre, that's where it's at. What else? Oh, one thing I taught my mum. I was saying these pawns, they look like they're awful. They look like they don't do too much. But it's like each.
Hold on, sorry, Jofers.
Yep.
Which sort of pawns are you talking about?
Which kind do you think I'm talking to my mum about, really?
I don't know. Let's just carry on with chess talk for now, though.
All right, okay, we'll get back to the other stuff. So yeah, in terms of chess, I was also saying how important pawn is. I was just saying, like, each pawn, they don't do much in the game. They do a lot, but obviously, I was just saying, even though they're only technically worth 1 point or whatever, but each one is potentially a queen. If you can get it to the back rank, it's yeah, that's going to queen, and that could win you the game. And I was just saying how important passed pawns and things like that are in chess. And
you like a bit of passed pawn?
I like a bit of passed pawn. 80s or 90s
and you
retro.
Use pawn to. You like your pawn helps you sort of get. What are you saying about the back rank and pawn? I don't know. What you said.
I'll show you later.
Cool. But
right.
yeah, there's some good chess prints. A knight on the rim is dim, people sometimes say. Don't move this. So I was watching. I was just looking over some games of a friend of mine who plays chess. He's older than me, and I was looking at some of his games, just having a nose at what he does, and I noticed a few just basic errors like moving the same piece twice in the opening unnecessarily, and getting out the queen really early and attacking before you've actually built up a good attack. Not controlling the centre. I mean, what I say to the kids at school, and it applies this way when I've been helping the kids at school, just look up the chess principles. Just stick with those first few chess. And Robert will tell you all those on his course. Robert Ramirez, links in the description of this podcast, as always. Check out his course. But yeah, Jofers, you know what we're rabbiting on, man. Should we talk about something else?
Let's do it.
Chess challenges? Fancy a bit of that?
Oh, mate, wait till you hear what I got up to this week.
Oh, so I set you the hippo challenge, didn't I? Try the hippo opening. Yeah,
learn the hippo opening, play it, and report back. And yeah, I did none of that. I just got so busy. I'm sorry. I was getting attacked by a storm and stuff, and I was thinking, do I take my phone out and play some chess, or do I just go like natural survival? Oh, I should have. But the natural survivor image kind of came out, and I just thought, I'm just going to try and survive this weekend, let alone play some chess. So, I didn't do it. I flaked, so maybe I'm not as committed to the podcast as we first thought.
Ah, man, you're not.
I apologise.
You're fired. What's Luca do? Luca, you're out there. You're listening to this next week. Joe, stop laughing. You're not on this podcast anymore. Luca, next week.
I will edit you out of this podcast. I have the
power. Let's get Luca on the show anyway. But
Let's
other
do it.
than that, you didn't do it.
Some
good news for you, Joe Fizz, is you challenged me to go to a chess club.
Yeah.
And actually do some over-the-board chess at a chess club.
Yeah.
I've never done that. I mentioned last week I've done other clubs like Krav Maga. No, I didn't say I didn't do it this week. I said I've never done it in my life. When I was at school, I've done Krav Maga. I've done other sort of things that could cause me pain, and I haven't really been that worried about going. I have been slightly worried about meeting chess players at a chess club for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. But I looked up when the dates were, and it was Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
And going back to my sciatica, I was actually in bed Monday and Tuesday, and there's no way I could have sat at a chessboard on either of those days. However, we were supposed to be having a pre-recorded interview this week, so I thought I had 2 weeks anyway.
Okay.
And so I've got next week. I've got a choice between 2 chess clubs. Maybe you could help out. So my local club is held in a scientific research centre. And I think there's about like 6 or 7 people that go by the looks of it. Maybe 10, I don't know. Highest rating seemed to be about 1900 maybe.
Wow, nice.
I'm feeling it'll be a bit like the Detectorists, if you've ever watched that TV show. I think it'll be like a little local club for local people, and we'll go down the pub and it'll be nice. And I think it'll be nice.
You don't think it'll be the type of local place where you walk in, like, everything stops, the music stops, everyone looks at you, and you're like, oh, bollocks, like, I don't belong here.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing I'm thinking.
Could be.
Or the other club has a lot of players, like maybe 50 or 60. I think there's either Grandmaster or International Master. There's people with like 2,400 rated.
Yep.
The very active club. I've got to decide which one to go to. But the one is a Monday, one is a Tuesday, so I might do both of them and then make a decision. But I don't want to cause any trouble between the clubs. I don't want them fighting over me. I don't want to have to fight them over me. It could be like there might be massive rivalry between these two clubs.
This is how the Crips and Blood started in California. Like, they were all best friends, started 2 rival chess clubs, and oh my God, one stalemate too many, and it got heated.
Oh, Jesus. I'm
Don't
scared.
do this.
You made me even more scared about this. So I've got to do that. But
Yeah.
being the nice guy that I am, Joe, I actually did your challenge for you. I played the hippo all week.
You're kidding. How did it go?
No, seriously. Well,
You knew I
told
wasn't
lost
gonna do
loads
it,
of
did you?
rating points.
Yeah, there we go.
I like it. I actually do like the opening.
Really?
There's a free chessable course on it. Simon
Okay.
Williams teaching it. I did quite a bit of that. I find that opponents find it quite frustrating to play against. It limits the movement of their pieces. You really, at the opening means you really control the fourth rank. So
Okay.
it's hard for them to cross over to your side of the board.
Right.
I like it. Give it a try this week. I like
Yeah.
it. I won't
What-
say much more about it. Help me lose a few. It also can transpose from what I found into a bit of a King's Indian.
Okay.
So that was quite nice, depending on what they're doing. Because I'm a little bit familiar with that, not too much, but I know a bit about it
Yeah.
from Robert's course.
What kind of rating would you recommend this opening to?
I don't bloody know, man. Try it on your 1800 rapid account and see how
You
you
can
get
get
on.
fucked, mate. Not a chance. I'll use the same opening that I've used for the last 2-3 years, and I will rinse and repeat.
Yeah. It is. Do you know what? It's quite a good out. It's for black. Your pieces are stacked up so nicely. It's really hard for white to find a breakthrough, and if you can hold the line nice and tight for a bit,
Yeah.
and then thrust out all of a sudden, you can punish them a little bit.
Okay, no, that sounds good. I will give it a go this week if you... or did you want to send me a new challenge? It's up to you.
No. Yeah, I've got you a new challenge actually.
Balls. All right. Do you want to tell me what it is?
Yep. Okay, it's a bit of a weird link to this one. It's a chessboard challenge again, so it's something
Okay.
you've got to do on the board.
Lovely.
Okay, so you've been in Cornwall this week, southwest of England. What's Cornwall known for, can you think? Anything?
Pastas. Cornish pastas.
You got it straight away, Joe.
You're kidding. Oh, I've
Pasties.
had so many Cornish pastas this weekend now. My God.
Right. So, pasty. So it's known for its pasties, so pasty. You're from Birmingham.
Yep.
Birmingham in the 80s, I don't know if you remember Musical Youth.
Yeah, do I remember them? Oh, I bloody love musical. You've passed the dutchie on the left-hand side.
There we go, pasty dutchie.
Pasty.
So that's pasty dutchie on the left-hand side, right?
Uh-huh.
Cornwall. Cornwall is also the Duchy of Cornwall. The
Yeah.
Duchy of Cornwall is awarded to the reigning UK monarch's oldest male son. So it
Okay.
used to be Prince Charles.
Yeah.
You've been in Cornwall. What is Prince Charles now? He's no longer Prince Charles. He is.
Is it the...
No, that's it. No,
That's the other one.
for legal
I'll look
reasons,
that
I'm
up.
not going to say who. But he's now the king, isn't he?
Oh, shit. Yeah. I get them all mixed up. Yeah, King Charles, yeah.
So King Charles. So we've got
Yeah.
King Charles.
Uh-huh.
Past the duchy on the left hand side. So he did have the duchy. He had the Duchy of Cornwall, or he was
Yeah.
the Duchy of Cornwall. So your challenge is you can only move pieces that are on the left hand side of the king.
Oh, that is awful. Okay.
But you can move the king. You can
Okay.
move the king. If you can get the king to the
brilliant.
right-hand side of the board, anything's
Yeah.
fair game except the pieces that are on the H file.
Oh, man, I can't see me winning the game with this opening, but I'm willing to give it a crack. But I love the cryptic crossword type way you got to this challenge.
Oh, I know. Drink enough wine and you'll get there too.
That was beautiful. That was amazing.
So yes, the Pasty Duchy challenge.
Yeah. I think I'll if
try
I do
it and try the
succeed-
hippo. Mix it up. Maybe do it
Yeah.
with white. Do the hippo with black.
Okay.
Report back. I'm trying to think because technically, if you move into the as far right as you can get, you can't move your rook that's on the H file, can you? Because
No.
you'd have to go like the rook will never be to the left. But anyway, you'll deal
Exactly.
with that. You just got to
I
sack
think
that rook off.
If this succeeds, I reckon we should contact Musical Youth and that King Charles fella. Get them on for an episode. They'll love it.
Get him to do a duet.
Oh, guys, the duet we've all been waiting for.
It would be good. Yeah. So
would
there's
be
your
amazing.
challenge, Joe. First.
Thank you.
Cool. Do you want to talk about our other topic, which is the latest Patreon subscriber, Joe, asked us a question. Have you got a copy of that question in front of you, Joe, first?
I don't have a copy of the question, but I kind of know it off by heart because it was a pretty good question.
Funnily enough, I've got a copy in front of me. Do you want me to read it
Let's
out?
go for that, just in case.
Well, basically, what he was asking was, do we have any experiences getting tilted and going on big losing streaks? It's something that he's had to deal with. And he finds that his rating alternates between big highs, big lows as a result. How do we deal with that? Joe Furs, over to you.
I mean, my first thing is, because obviously you put this in the group chat that we have with Jesse, the National Master, and that's not me just flexing to everyone that I'm in a group chat with a National Master, but I am, and it is pretty cool. But I think your first question was asking him what the word tilted meant, because I don't know if it's just...
I had no idea.
You had no idea. I don't know if it's a generational thing or maybe a cultural thing.
What are you saying, generation thing? I'm not that much older than you.
No,
I'm
like
still
3 or 4
very
years,
young, Joe
give or
Furs.
take. Exactly. But yeah, I think he said... I think he said that
you know
came
what?
from
Can I just
gambling.
say, when I first read it and it said, "Do you and Joe have experiences getting tilted?" I thought it was a typo, and obviously he knows how good we are at chess, and I thought it was titled because it's only 2 letters different. And I
this is going to come as a surprise to you, Joe, but we're not actually titled. Yeah.
Nah, not yet.
But yeah, so Jesse kind of cleared up what tilted meant. Tilted is what a lot of gambling, so like poker players and whatnot will do. They'll be on a losing streak and they'll get tilted, they'll get angry and they'll get really obsessed and they'll keep playing, and it's like their brain will tell them, like, don't stop playing, you can do this, and they're tilted. So it's like a state of anger as well as frustration and obsession. Yeah, it's I think it is more American and more kind of gambling related and sporting related, which are things that you don't really do, I guess.
Shut up, man. What, I don't do American sport and what was the other one? Gambling.
Gambling.
Okay, I do one of those 3.
I won't say which one.
Nah.
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
But he had a really good answer to it. Shall we play the answer real quick?
Play the advice that Jesse kindly gave us.
All right, let's do it.
Anyways, there's only one easy remedy for being tilted, and nobody wants to hear it. And the answer is, drum roll, you got to take a break. You have to stand up, you have to go, you have to take a break from what you're doing, because when you're emotionally charged like that, it literally scientifically like shuts down the logical thinking part of your brain, so that you can't make good choices anymore. And so the best choice you can make is to stop making choices, get up, go do something else, and allow yourself to actually, find peace and harmony and all that peaceful shit again. And then you can start playing chess again. That's the advice.
So, good advice from Jesse. What do you think about that?
Yeah, what an answer. I mean, the first thing that I'd like to highlight is, I think at one point he said that being tilted, it shuts down the logical part of your brain. Now, is that something that all humans have? Because I feel like I don't have that.
What, a brain?
Well, the brain, but more the logical part of thing, like the decision-making side of the brain. I feel like I was born without that, personally. I think God just skipped me in the line of handing out logic. I mean, even this weekend alone, after that storm Anthony, I thought it'd be a good idea to go surfing, and like, that ain't logical, that's just stupid.
Yeah. In Sicily, you got in the sea during a massive thunder and lightning storm, didn't you?
I still stand by the fact that that's probably the safest thing to do in a thunder and lightning storm. You heard it here first.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But now, what advice? I loved it. It's perfect. Just walk away, man. Take a break. Go connect with nature. Go for a walk. Do something positive. Like, if you're in that negative mindset and you just keep going and you can't stop playing, you just got to stop. I know it sounds counterproductive, but yeah, just stop.
Yeah, I think, so me personally, I don't get in that state. So I get losing streaks, but I don't get this tilted feeling. I just lose, and I think, oh well, I'm losing at the moment. I'll probably win again later. I don't get stressed by it. I don't think, I need to chase my losses. I've got to have another game. I must win the next
bollocks.
one.
Al, I've played Mario Kart with you where you throw. I've played Mario Kart with you where you. No, you have thrown the controller at my face a number of times.
That's different, Jofers. That's just your face, and we're talking chess here. Have I ever assaulted you with a chess piece recently?
Recently? Yeah, okay, recently, no.
Okay.
That's
all right then.
I have to say that for legal reasons. I don't want bloody police officers sniffing around this podcast.
Do you know, each chess game is a new chess game. That's the way I look at it. Each one is new. Yeah. I don't think of the one I've played before. Yeah, I might be losing, but I know how I try and stop a losing streak, and that's different. But I don't get the anger involved in it. That's chess. If I'm playing you at table tennis or something else, that's going to happen. Online on chess.com, I just think, I'm losing. I'm losing. I've lost another one. Oh, bloody hell, I've lost another one. And then maybe I don't get to sit there long enough anyway. My time goes and I have to do something else. And then I might win the next one. But each game is on its own. Mm-hmm. I'm not desperately trying to claw onto a rating. I'm not desperately trying to gain a rating. So it's like, whatever my rating is, that's the level I'm playing at that point in time. That's fine. It literally doesn't bother me, genuinely.
All right. No, I do believe you. I vaguely remember Robert Ramirez, saying a similar thing about how he doesn't get too angry, he just loves chess for the chess, and if you lose, you lose. It's not the end of the world. It's true.
Actually, I asked him for advice as well. Robert said, he said, like we say in Cuba, if you're having a bad day, go to sleep and come back the next day.
I love that.
He said, take a break, come back with the right conditions. And by the right conditions, I mean make sure there are no distractions and so on. And finally, I think the best advice is to have a number of games in mind before you start. Let's say your goal is 10 games a day. Once you reach that goal, stop, regardless of how bad you did. Treat it as a tournament.
No, I think that's really good advice.
I've never done that, and I think that's good advice. I'd find that that'd make me angry, actually. I'd get tilted then if I knew I only had 10 games to play.
Yeah, don't be limiting my chess. But no, I think both of those are really good advice. I think we need to make the most of these connections a little more. We need to bring them back on, and anytime there is a question that we need answering, let's go to them, man. They know their shit.
Let's do that. I think Jesse and Robert would love to help out. I'm just obviously volunteering their services to our listeners out there. So any questions you've got, feel free to ask us, and potentially we might get National Masters, Jesse and Robert, or Robert to give us some answers. Maybe.
Exactly.
But no, that's it, Jofers. Yeah, man. What we on?
What are we on? Let's talk some chess news, man. This is a chess podcast. What's been going on in the world of chess? We got the... I like how it's the Chess World Cup, like the biggest thing in chess, and we haven't even not mentioned it once, have we, in ages?
I think we mentioned it last week and the week before.
But other than that, we ain't really mentioned it.
Other than that, before it started and leading up to it.
This episode we ain't mentioned... I'm tired, Al. Leave me alone.
No, we haven't mentioned it this episode. But, I mean, in fairness, it's not... Do you know, there's two chessy things going on as far as I'm aware. And so I've watched a bit... During my sciatica lying on my side moaning bit, I thought, I'm going to watch some live chess. And I put the Chess World Cup on. It was the first round, so you didn't have Magnus, you didn't have Hikaru, all the other big names. They're not in there yet. They had a bye.
Okay.
They're going from one board to the next and showing you different bits of action on different boards. But this is classical chess until the tie break, when I think it became rapid.
Okay.
It's quite boring to watch.
We should commentate on it, imagine. It's like, now we're going to go over to Alan Jones. Like, this is fucking awful, man. Just like, there ain't been a move for 10 minutes now.
Hell did he turn up today?
Oh, just turn off. Watch Countdown.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, some people will find it interesting, some people find it riveting. It's like football, I can't be asked to watch 90 minutes. I watch the highlights, and I found the same with this. I'd rather watch the highlights. Commentators were trying to keep my interest. Strangely, I did give it probably over an hour of my time.
Yeah.
And even though I said it was boring, it's a bit like watching cricket. It's quite relaxing, it's soothing, it's nice to sleep to doze on and off to, that sort of thing.
Are you just trying to piss off every sports fan in the world in this sentence?
Yeah.
So cricket's boring, chess is boring, football's shite. It's go on, get rid of all our listeners. I love it.
What's left? But yeah, so there's that. But then also, so chess news for that. I don't know, man. I think Magnus is still in. I think Sam Shankland got knocked out, which was apparently big news because he's a big name and he got knocked out.
I have a bit of news about it.
Second round. Oh yeah, go.
So it turns out Magnus Carlsen has won everything in life, but I don't think he's actually won the World Cup. Yeah,
not yet.
So,
not yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And this guy takes this World Cup seriously because apparently, on one night before he was playing, he also was seen playing an online chess tournament till some ridiculous time in the morning or something, and then had bare minimum sleep and got up and played this tournament in the day.
That's the most Magnus Carlsen thing ever.
It really is. And I notice all the players have got this dress code and they have to wear shirts, which again I find really bizarre. Why can't they just turn up in like a mankini, as you said, or a tracksuit or whatever? But Magnus didn't wear a shirt. He wore some sort of like tight, sporty, sponsored logo top.
I mean, are you going to... Yeah, no one's going to tell Magnus off, are they? Can't tell him off.
That's exactly what I thought. What, they're going to turn him away?
Yeah, imagine. He's like, no, you can't come in, mate.
It's just not happening, is it?
Yeah.
So,
what would you wear?
You know what? What would I wear, Joe? First, you love putting me on the spot like this, don't you?
I do, mate.
I just think I'd go in something casual, probably like a pair of tracky bottoms, hoodie.
Love that.
I'd have a nice t-shirt underneath, maybe a vest. I'd wear a vest underneath in case it got hot. I could whip the
Very
t-shirt
Italian.
off.
I love that.
Also, the sweat would be dripping down my armpits. That'd intimidate the opponent. Every time I reach over to move a piece, it'd be little
Nice little mind game. Yeah. Flicking your sweat into their eyes. Brilliant.
How about yourself? You got any ideas what you'd like to wear?
I can't do the improvised comedy, Al, so let's move on.
Okie dokie. Well, then the other championship that I notice is going on is this Pog Champs. Have you heard of that?
I have. That's like a YouTubey thing, isn't it? Like YouTube influence.
So it's all these
average Joes.
It's these creators, average Joes, other than the fact they've we're soon to be like them, hopefully. They've got like 2, 3, 5 million subscribers. And chess.com organises this tournament. They're playing each other. They're fairly low-rated players, in fairness. I think they get a bit of coaching.
Yep.
So I thought, you know what, I'll watch a little bit of that, see how it differs from the World Cup, sorry. It differs, firstly, because the chess is pretty bad. But it's more relatable in another way. You sort of understand why they're doing what they're doing, and it's probably because they haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
There isn't much like deep theory behind it. But what got me was you've got Danya and I think maybe Andrea Botes, if that's her name. Is that her name? I think they're commentating on it. They were commentating. And it was just listening to them. I'm thinking, these are two people who know chess. They understand chess at a very deep level. They commentate on the World Cup type matches. And here they are trying to make sense of what these complete rank amateurs are doing. It was just hilarious. The commentary was getting me because I was thinking they're trying to make it's like, I don't know, a professional commentator commentating on really shit chess.
Yeah,
Rather, they should be asking us to commentate on its shit chess players, commentating on shit chess. Chess.com, get us on next year.
This is why I think we should commentate on like the actual classical chess, because this is funny because they don't understand why has this average person made this move, and we'll be the same. We'll be like, why has this grandmaster made this move? It makes no sense to us as average people, and you know what? Maybe this is the way chess is going though, where this is what's entertaining. It's more people who aren't experts, because me and you will be able to understand what kind of moves they're making, whereas we're so lost with grandmasters and international masters, and it could be the future of chess entertainment.
Exactly. And that's World Chess News, Joe. First, we've covered it, and we're moving on. We're getting to the end of the podcast. If you've listened this far, then rate the show.
Yep.
You have. I have as well.
Yeah, I've listened the whole time,
go and rate the show. Joe, when we finish, go and rate it with one of your multiple accounts that you've rated in.
Cheating the system.
Rate the show, leave us a review. We had a great review from somebody, not you, Joe, as I'm talking to people listening. We had a great review. We had a great review from somebody who goes by the name on Apple. Somebody got Highlights Complete. Thanks for the review. Highlights Complete. If you're listening to this one, that was a lovely review. Really appreciated it. It all helps. It helps us. It encourages us, keeps us going. And it helps us keep our #1 spot as chess podcast in Spotify by some weird... How's that happened, Joe? First, what happened
I still don't believe it. Apparently, if you search chess on Spotify, we come up as number... I don't believe it. It's weird.
We come up as #1 on Spotify in the UK.
Yeah, why do people listen to us?
I don't know. Are you up to something with somebody from Spotify?
I must be fiddling somewhere. I don't get how this has worked.
Something going on. But anyway... Follow us, it'd do us a big favour. Rate us, do us a big favour. Jofers. Should we talk about what we've been exceptionally loving and just wrap this thing up?
I've got a good one.
Anything?
Yeah. So this weekend, obviously, being in that storm and whatnot, and then losing my tent, and then just changing city completely to avoid the storm, going to Newquay, sleeping in a hostel. Warm beds, man. Warm beds is just what I've been exceptionally... I know it sounds like such a basic human right, but oh my God, Al. So I went into this hostel.
Bed.
Oh, but in this hostel, I was with 6 men all very smelly, big hairy men, just kind of, and it was just a fart-filled room.
Strangers, or were these your friends?
Both. No, these were my friends. So there's like 6 of us. Just there's a fart-filled room. There was drum and bass music pounding through the door. All of them are snoring, and I just lay awake, just thinking like, I'm in a warm bed. I'm not in a storm. This is just beautiful. I was like, I was sniffing in the smells. I didn't care, man. Usually I'd be like, oh, this is rank. This is vile. But that night I was just in heaven. I was like, this is just. It was beautiful. It's so warm, so cozy. So there's that, and what else? Kansas. You know the band Kansas? Oh.
Yeah.
Never really listened to him too much, but then me and Harry, who I was there with, it was more him, came up with a lovely cover of the song Dust in the Wind, but we changed the name to Tents in the Wind, and
nice.
Close my eyes only for a second and my tent is gone. Tents in the wind. All I see is tents in the wind, and we were just singing it all weekend, and it was a good time.
I'd love to finger pick that on the guitar. I like
Mate,
that one. I enjoyed
it was beautiful.
That. It's a little good warm-up exercise.
Oh, it was
That's
gorgeous,
nice.
man. But yeah, what a weekend. So yeah, just loving friends, loving family, loving everything.
Oh,
How about yourself, Al?
podcast.
Nah, it's all right. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, take it or leave it. Who cares about this shit? What have I been loving? Last week I said how I'd been exceptionally loving British summer. It had been a hot day. I'd been to see comedy in the park, and I said the unpredictability of the British summer. It could have rained. It has rained a lot yesterday.
Gotcha.
Which I loved as well. I didn't exceptionally love, but I loved the rain because it sort of frees you up. You don't feel the urge to go outside. You can just have that day relaxing and not doing much. But the unpredictability of the British summer gave me something quite predictable that I get every year. Not what you're thinking, Jofers. And and it's courgettes. I grow my own courgettes.
It's so sad. I love it.
Hold on, I've listened back to this podcast. You said in one of the episodes you've exceptionally been loving pasta, Al. I had a really lovely vegetable pasta.
I do love my all right.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you grow
I've
your own
exceptionally
courgettes. Carry on.
loved. I'm getting a lot of courgettes at the moment, and we had a massive glut of them today. So we I did none of this. They were spiralised. They were cooked with garlic and chilli. Put on some spaghetti with some lemon juice. It was like being in Sicily. It was just amazing. And I ate so much. I had 3 bowls of this, and I could have kept going. It was so good. But it's not the pasta I'm loving, although I am. It's just the predictability of getting these courgettes for this small amount of time. I mean, I get them all year round from the supermarket, but when you've got these ones that you've grown and there's just too many to deal with, it's bloody lovely, man. I exceptionally love that.
Let's change Average Joe's chest to Average Joe's courgettes and just have a courgette-themed podcast for the next couple of years, just talking about courgettes are just so underrated.
They are, and one of the episodes you claimed that if you didn't do something, play your rapid rate, you would go to Spain and become a courgette farmer. You actually said that on episode 3 or 4.
One day you will never hear from me again, and that's where I'll be.
Yeah. Oh, Joe, we've got to wrap it up now, yeah? So we've come to the end of this podcast, and just as we're finishing, you remember last week we were babysitting at your brother's house?
Yeah.
Well, he's since discovered some of our pranks, hasn't he? So, for example, it was July at the time, but on one random date on August on his kitchen calendar, we opened it up and we wrote sniff balls, a dash Luca, or something.
So immature. Love that. Yeah.
We did some others on there. So, Luca, you might want to check the rest of the calendar. I think you've got a gynae appointment at some point in October. And there's more to discover. But we're talking about wrapping this up, and your brother was in your house today, and in fact he was in your loft where you are now, and he's asked me to tell you to look up at the ceiling and see what he's left wrapped up there for you above your head. And we all know how much you hate that. You've been able to see it the whole
podcast. I've just realised. I have. Oh no, it ain't, is it?
It is.
It's not.
You're going to have to call your mum to come up the ladders into your loft to remove. Tell everyone what it is, Jofers.
Well, to my eyes, it looks like a very shitty nappy, potentially.
It is a very shitty nappy. He changed his son's shitty nappy, or his daughter's. I'm not sure whose nappy it is. His son doesn't wear him, so he changed his daughter's shitty nappy, and he stuffed it on the roof above your head for you to
That is
discover
good.
at the end of the
That's not
podcast. He sent me a message saying, "Can you just let Joe know there's a shitty nappy above his head?"
How did I not notice that? Shows how tired I am. I thought there was
really
a smell
hate
as
that.
well, and I just thought, well, I've been camping all weekend, and like, you know, bowel movements, I'm getting older, but it all makes sense. So I am quite reassured if I'm on.
Hey, Joe
that is
Furs,
disgusting.
it's just like having another night in the hostel. Get your dad up there, let him snore with you for the night.
Yeah. On that
Invite a
note-
few of the neighbours.
Yeah, I've got to leave. I've got to drive down to my brother's and just knock him out real quick.
Joe, it's been a pleasure. Catch you
Nice
later,
one.
man.
Bye bye.
Cheers, dude. Bye.
Disgusting.